Hello, welcome to this special episode of Escaping the Echo Chamber. Hey, I just want to get to it. I want to talk about Sony and Disney and what I think should happen. Because basically what I'm going to title this video is the Spider-Man cinematic universe. So Disney and Sony had a deal, 5%. Disney cover the production costs. They get 5% of first day ticket sales. Sony gets the rest. Disney takes all the merchandising. Disney comes back, says, hey, we want 50-50. You put up 50% of production costs and we take 50% of the profit. Disney, wanted a bigger cut, and they still wanted to keep 100% of the merchandising. Sony, I think Sony did the smart thing and said, you know what, kick rocks, we're good. But Sony has to really say kick rocks. Sony has to really send a message because, number one, I think it's a bad thing for everything to be under one umbrella, one house. I liked seeing the sharing, but having everything under one house means you have one vision, and it's not, and in this day and age, it's not going to be a very creative vision. It's not going to be a very, it's going to be it's going to get formulaic and trite. And, Disney already has a reputation of being, saccharine, whatever. And so, yeah, it's having Spider-Man and other, properties in other people's hands and under people's control, I think is a great thing. But now I think this is an opportunity for Sony to really step up their game. The Spider-Man cinematic universe. This is what they can do. And the idea is out there because they did, Into the Spiderverse. Into the Spiderverse, they did this cartoon where you've got Spider-Mans from different multiverses, different Spider-Men from different multiverses, converging together. They can do this live action. So they can continue. They can start with a Spider-Man 4 starring Tobey Maguire. Spider-Man 3 with Tobey Maguire wasn't that great, but they can do it. He's older. It's been years. I haven't even completely envisioned exactly what they can do. This is just off the top of my head, just broadly conceptualizing what Sony can do to just really just tear things down. They can actually make Marvel step their game up. Disney's Marvel step their game up to be like, okay, wow, they just did it for real. And I really want to see it. So, like I said, do a Spider-Man 4 starring an older Tobey Maguire. Do the Amazing Spider-Man 3. So now, continue doing the Sinister Six. And that means that I don't know if that exec at Sony is still there that, got rid of the Amazing Spider-Man because of a little snub, or what he perceived as a snub from Andrew Garfield. Get over that. This is such a much bigger picture at stake here. And of what you can do with this. So you do the Amazing Spider-Man 3. You bring in the Sinister Six. You bring in Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, and you start continuing with that whole conspiracy thing and the intrigue, the mystery of who's behind the scenes pulling the strings. You keep going with that. You continue with Tom Holland. You can be dropping these a couple a year, boom. You can start the year with a Spider-Man 4. You can you can end the year with Spider-Man Homeless or something like that. Yeah, Spider-Man Homeless with Tom Holland. Now he's on the run. Everybody knows who Peter Parker is, and boom, it's chaotic. They think he's a villain. Mysterio's done his damage, And by the way, I'm going to make sure I put spoilers in this because so the spoilers will be listed on the title. I gotta make sure I do that. Boom. I mean, there's so much to do, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. So you have 3 new movies. You can have 3 new Spider-Man movies coming out. One starring Tobey Maguire, one starring Andrew Garfield, one starring Tom Holland. And you can get bigger than that. Here's how you can get bigger. You have another movie called Spider-Gwen, starring Emma Stone as Gwen Stacy. So now, it's not going to be exactly Andrew Garfield's Gwen Stacy, but it's going to be in a universe where Gwen Stacy, who looked the same, never died, but instead became Spider-Gwen. So, boom, start your Spider-Gwen. And now all of these movies are simultaneous, are being released within the same time. And you're not even, and you can start doing things to hint at people that that they're connected, interwoven. I don't even know who the bad guy would be, but that would be manipulating things or showing up in different universes or multiverses for you to restart realizing, like, wait a minute, there's your end credits, start showing that there are connections and that ultimately these universes are going to converge. But I'm not done yet, because you've got your 3 Spider-Men, you've got Gwen Stacy, Spider-Gwen, and then you've got a universe where Spider-Man never existed, but Venom does. So you bring in Tom Hardy, you bring in Carnage and Woody Harrelson's Carnage. Like, there is so much potential to do this so big. And then you have a movie where you start converging these universes together, and you start having movies where these universes start colliding, start converging together, and it could be something amazing. I hope Sony does this. I hope other people, because I've already talked to some other people who saying they're thinking the same thing. I hope enough people are thinking the same thing. I hope enough fans are getting Sony's ear to let Sony know this can be done. This can be huge. This can be amazing. I mean, this would put Disney on notice. Like, you're not the only cinematic universe, because DC screwed it up. And DC screwed it up because they tried to rush everything. Sony's been setting this up unwittingly since the early 2000s, so like that's what the whole point. So Sony has actually, because these are different universes, a multiverse, like Sony didn't even realize that they were setting it up. And you have these characters that are well developed, that exist within their own spheres, that can now come together in this bigger universe, and it would be amazing. I hope Sony's listening. I hope enough people are coming up with this idea, and I hope Sony realizes they have the potential to do something huge. The Spider-Man cinematic universe. I mean, if you agree, if you have any ideas, I want to put comments in the section. I mean, this has to happen. This has to happen. MCU, I don't even want to see Spider-Man in the MCU anymore. This is so much bigger. The MCU can do so much story. They have enough characters. They can do something big over there. This can be huge over here. This is what Sony needs to do. Thanks for checking out this episode. Give me a thumbs up. Give me shares. Thank you. And I will see you next episode of Escaping the Echo Chamber.